It's spring and boating season. So here's what I got here. My trim gauge would not work. So this wire here broke. See right there. I'm going to take this part off and see if I can't solder it. That looks fragile too. And put a shrink sleeve over it. We'll see what happens. Before you take this apart, make sure you notice the position of that screw on the top and bottom and the lines in the... Okay, once you get the 4 screws off, note the position of that white piece. Okay, I took off the 4 Phillips first to get the cap off, then I took off the 2 adjusters. Make sure you take a photo of where your adjustments are. Then I got this, so I'm gonna note that the B1 is on the bottom. I'm going to take that screw out and see what I got next. All right, so what I did is I cleaned this off and I took this other connector out of here and slid that broken wire out. And here's that wire here. So what I'm gonna do is I got some other wire. I'm gonna string it through, put a new connector on, and give me some length so I can solder on a new piece. And what I did is I put heat shrink on here. You can see the heat shrink. That way I can shrink the soldered piece together and seal it up. All right, now that I ran that loop through there, I'm gonna put this bracket thing back on. I can't really show you with one hand. I saved plenty of wire for room. I put that screw back on. All right, I ran that on. It goes the same way. Yeah, let's see. Why isn't it focusing? It goes the same way on there. And left plenty of wire. Now I'm gonna cut this longer, cut that fresh, solder those on, and I have my shrink wrap on top up there. I'm going to slide that over it and seal it. I'm gonna take this off first and put it over the red part. That way it can go on there. I don't know if it's gonna go over the shrink wrap. I don't think it will. All right, when you're putting these on, make sure you have your lines to where they were. I have to do a little bit of adjustment, I think, here. And these prongs are gonna be sticking out so they make contact with the part that spins in there. Looks pretty good as far as I'm concerned. So I noticed that my line was on here, down here. So I'm gonna put that on just like that. I'm gonna put the 4 cap back on with the 4 screws and it should be good. All right, it's all done. I took the boat out a few times. I could not be happier with the way that was fixed. So I put the shrink wrap over. I did put some electric tape over it just to kind of hold those together because there's that rubber coil there. You know, make sure that's adjusted right. So there's plenty of room for the motor to go up and down and turn. I'm gonna push that back in there at least. I could not be happier. It works perfectly. The gauge works again. Easy fix.